Well, I got to say, this whole coronavirus thing is really crazy. I've never seen anything like it in my lifetime, and I've been around for a few years. A lot of people keep referring back to these other ones like swine flu and the bird flu and H1N1, whatever, whatever, and but those are different. You know, those they we were never warned the way we are now. And I have an in-law who is a virologist. He's actually working on an immunization for this flu right now, and he's very concerned. And we've never seen world leaders get together like this and be as concerned as they are. So, uh, it's happening. It's a happening thing, and I think a lot of the young people think it's not real, and they are the ones who are spreading the disease. So you guys get it together, wash your hands a lot, and do all the things that they tell you to do. This is another satellite picture on Mars, and it's one of the stranger ones. And when you first look at this, I mean, right off the bat, you would say that there's no way that this could be anything natural, and I would agree with that. It's definitely not natural. It seems to have this cellular design, and I don't think it's. Some people might be tempted to say that these were structures that are falling down, but the thing is, if you were one of the people that lived in the middle, how do you get out? What do you do? Walk through 15 different people's houses on your way to get out? It's not constructed right for this to be places where people live. It's very segmented, and there's no streets or anything like that. Plus, there's this dome thing here on the top left corner. Pretty prominent. There's some other things that I just can't quite make out their shapes and what they are. They do rise above this cellular area, but I just can't quite make them out. I gotta say though that this stuff reminds me of something that I saw on TV about this garum stuff that is a fermented fish sauce that was a huge thing for trading back in Roman times, and it's basically a condiment. And they recently found some of these big vats carved out of the rock in different places around the world, and it was a huge thing. And it's kind of what this terrain, we'll call it, or this construction on Mars reminds me of. They look like these big vats that were used in ancient times. I'm not saying that's what they are, but they're definitely not structures that people live in, because, as I said, you'd have to walk through several different people's houses to get to the outside door. So I think that's kind of strange. Or that would be strange for sure, just passing through. Oh yeah, okay. I'd sure hate to be the house with the outside door. There'd be a lot of people coming through all the time. But you can see some of the things that are inside of these cells, and I don't know, what that stuff is. We don't have that good of resolution on the picture. And again, this being a satellite picture, it's taken from quite a ways up, but it's pretty good, resolution. Certainly enough to see what's here. Now, you see this white area on the left-hand side of the screen, right in the middle? It's some kind of hot mess. I don't know what. It looks like, I don't even know. It looks like a lot of pipes going to and fro, and things are connected and over and under. Right in the center of the screen, you see a big white structure, and it has I'm going to call it a tube or a pipe that's leading out of it that goes all the way across to the other side there. It seems to be connected as part of that, whatever it is. And there's pipes that crisscross and go over and under and around, and again, obviously not natural terrain. I always get back to that, because if it's not natural, then it's man-made, right? That's what this is all about, because the powers that be still want us to believe that there's nothing up there but rocks and sand. It's just an old rocky planet. Well, Obviously not. So I always feel compelled to mention the fact that it's obviously not natural. And if you think that this looks natural right here, then I don't know what to say. I really don't. It's a very busy picture. Now we're going to go look at the surrounding terrain, and we're going to see above that hot mess and off to the right. And when I first looked at this, I thought, wow, look at those holes. Yeah, those are holes. No, I thought, no, those are just shadows from like rolling hills. And then I'm looking closer, as I always do, and all of a sudden, to me, I see these holes are aligned together. They're all about the same size, length and width, and now I'm starting to see strips. Okay, do you see this different strips? It's just like in the videos that I was showing this on Mount Sharp, that how Mount Sharp and the whole surrounding area was covered with man-made material. And that's what we have here. I'm quite sure of it. These are strips. It's kind of like if you were to take a Venetian blind and close it up and pull it off the window and set it on the table and then twist it. And certain areas and those blinds are all going to bend in the same place, and they're going to leave gaps. And I was looking also at these lines coming down, line after line after line, which was reminiscent of some videos that I did in the past that showed row after row after row after row of buildings. And as incredible as it seems, I'm not the only one who's found this type of thing, and Joseph Skipper is one who's analyzed a lot of it. Here's a picture of one of those areas right now. And I actually have several videos on this kind of construction where it's row after row after row after row. It doesn't even look real. It seems like it's all pixels or something, but it is real. However, that's not what I'm seeing on this row after row of this image. Again, when I get closer down to it, again it looks like strips with other stuff on top of it. So in other words, it's starting to look very much like what we saw all around Mount Sharp, where this terrain is not terrain. This is man-made material. And, there's certain reasons, every picture that NASA takes with satellites or rovers, those are all planned pictures. They don't just take random pictures. There's a reason why they were looking at this, and just like the same area around Mount Sharp. And which brings me back to these cellular-looking things. And they're kind of like honeycombs in a way. And if you're familiar at all with aerospace construction, so in other words, making planes and that kind of thing, they use this honeycomb material. It's very, very strong, and you can shape it. And this is used in every airplane and virtually everything that flies in the sky, other than birds. Oh, God. So it's very strong. That's the whole thing about it. And so it's not a stretch to think that this area that's covered in ground, all this what we think is ground that's covered with this material, with these strips, might be the outside hull of a ship that's come down. And therefore, this cellular stuff or this honeycomb stuff could have been popular for them to use as well. And that would explain a lot of all the metal shards that I found that we've seen in the previous videos covering the ground everywhere. I don't know. It's just an idea. It's as good as any, I guess. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day.